My name is Michelle and this channel is fully approved by cats. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the things that I found in charity shops. That would be thrift stores if you're in America, or op shops if you're in Australia. I actually had a really good month. You know, sometimes you go out and you look around these secondhand shops and you either find loads of stuff or you find nothing at all. I only went maybe 2 or 3 times this month, just when I happened to be in town. But I found a lot of good stuff, so let's see what I got. So recently I seem to have become addicted to jigsaw puzzles, and I'll tell you how it happened. I was on holiday in the UK a couple of years back with my daughter, and my mother had actually given us a couple of £100 spending money, and we were like, oh, we can buy things. And so we went in a bookstore, I think it was Waterstones, and my daughter bought some manga books. Yes, she's 30, unapologetic, and she bought some video games and stuff like that. And I was looking around, I was thinking, well, there's lots of nice books here, but really I get a lot of books secondhand. There's nothing that I really need. And daughter said to me, what about a jigsaw puzzle? And I'm like, well, I don't do jigsaw puzzles. Why would I be interested in that? I'm an artist by trade, and you know, finding someone else's art and putting it together, I don't know if that's really me. And we went over to the jigsaw section, and that is when I found a Dracula jigsaw. And this is it, 1,000 pieces, fantastic. So I thought, I love Dracula, one of my favourite books, probably my favourite book actually. I can talk more about that in another video. And I took the jigsaw home and immediately became entranced by it. Every evening, I left it out on the side. Every evening, I just, you know, find a few pieces to put in. It was very pricey jigsaw, and they retail these ones, this particular set. There's like a series of them. They're all slightly different. I think they might be the same illustrator. They retail at, you know, nearly £20, it's £16, £18. Quite pricey. But then a little while later I found another one in a charity shop. The one I found next was this one here, Jane Austen. So that was fantastic. Enjoyed that one very much as well. And then in another charity shop I found another one. So I thought, well, I'm never going to buy them new again. I can just get them from charity shops. And added to the difficulty of doing the jigsaw, of course, is the thought that there might be some missing pieces. Now, the Dracula one was quite interesting because I actually lost a piece myself because Gimlet knocks them off the table. I lost a piece, and then like weeks later I found it. So there's that. The next one I found was this one, which is the Brontes. That was a good one too. But this month I found the Shakespeare one. And here it is. This must be the hardest one that I've done. It took weeks. It was quite difficult. I might be exaggerating, a couple of weeks, just doing a little bit each evening, because really you get to the end of a jigsaw, it kind of speeds up, but the little houses, there's so much similarity. Now, I did find with this one, there was one piece missing, which is really annoying, but again, I can't say that it was missing when I bought the jigsaw because Gimlet knocks them off the table. So I've kept this one. I may still find that little piece, and you know, if I find these regularly in charity shops, then possibly I can just find the jigsaw again for a couple of pounds and swap that in. That Shakespeare jigsaw was £2.99, and even though there is a piece missing, I very much enjoyed doing it. The next thing I found was a sewing pattern, and here it is, still got the price on, £4.99. It's a little pricey for sewing patterns, and it's not actually in the best condition. When I got it home, I found it had been cut to the smallest size, but that's okay because I am the smallest size in this range, so it should fit me. And what I really wanted it for was not any of this stuff here, but I wanted it for this jacket. Now, most of you know that I teach martial arts in my spare time. I'm a junior instructor, and every year we have kind of a ceremony where we give out awards to students, and it's traditional for the instructors to maybe dress up a little bit, put one of the brocade tops on. I made my own last year from a traditional sewing pattern. I'll try and drop it in. I'll try and remember the name of it. I think it's Folkwear that make them, and they really are traditional patterns. By which I mean it was incredibly difficult, and basically I chopped it up and hacked it in all sorts of ways because I just was not prepared to go through that whole rigmarole that's involved with making a traditional Chinese garment. But this one actually, I think it's pretty nice, and even though it's something I only wear once a year, and you know, I spent weeks on the last one, I should just wear it again. But I thought I'll give myself a little bit of choice if I want to make another one. And actually, you know, the rest of the stuff in here. I also liked this this bag here. I bought in London, again, I'll try and drop a picture in. I bought in London at a sewing show some bright green bag handles, and although they're not circular, I think I could perhaps use this pattern to make a bag with those bag handles. So £4.99, not bad. The next thing I found was a plant pot. Now, I have a huge obsession with cacti and succulents, and I've already put a plant in it. So this is the ceramic plant pot I found. So this was checks notes £1.25. Now these are for sale, you know, £6, £8, £10. They're very expensive. I actually found one a couple of months ago. I found this one here as well, which I think was £1.99 or £2.99. Don't tend to get the larger sizes, but the garden centres in the UK are just full of these ceramic pots and they are a fortune, so always pick them up when I see them, and I'm very happy with this one. I don't know what this plant is. It's got lots of tiny spikes on. I do like plants that are quite violent, and if there's a chance of danger when I'm watering the plant, then that's always makes life a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? Next up, I found a couple of spice jars, and I have a huge amount of herb and spice jars because I love to cook, but some of them are a little bit small. I had a couple of things that are a little bit bigger, and I found these two spice jars, and I've already labelled them. I am an obsessive label maker, by which I mean I have a label maker and I make the labels with it. And of course, I can see what's in this, and people will say to me, why are you labelling something when you can see what it is? To which I would say those people simply don't understand the joy of labels. And the other one I've got here is nutmeg. So I've got some nutmeg and some star anise, and these were just the right size for putting these larger spices in. I got both of those jars for £2.25. So one or two of the second-hand shops I go in have sort of areas for craft stuff and sewing patterns, which I always check out. And I found some cotton lace. I've decanted this onto a card, which is how I keep all of my laces and trims. And I thought this was rather nice, actually. I can kind of see it on a rustic blouse. There were actually two of these identical, and they were £1.49 each. I didn't get both because I probably won't need them, but you know, I'll end up making a tiered skirt or something and then wish I'd bought the other one. But this was very nice quality lace and very, very cheap. My next purchase, I'm already regretting buying, not because I don't like it, but because I know it's going to take up some of my time. So I found this set of 6 necklaces. They're so tangled up that I can't even decide if they're actually joined together in any way, you know, if they're sort of looped through each other or if they're actually separate. I haven't bothered to detangle them yet. And I absolutely love the colours. I also don't know, I think they're glass. They may be plastic, but I think they're glass. So I love these little colour combinations. There's some colours that I love to wear and also some that I'm less likely to wear. I don't tend to like cobalt blue, but look, here it is with orange, and I think that's rather lovely. But what's bothering me about these is they're on nylon thread and they've all been strung very, very tightly. And that means that they're kind of crinkly and wavy, and they don't feel that they'd be that comfortable to wear. So I'm just thinking I'm going to restring all of these and separate them out. And I will regret ever having bought them until I finish doing them, and then I'll be able to wear them because I do love little bead necklaces like these, and these cost me, checks notes, £3.99 for 6. What a bargain. So sometimes in UK charity shops you'll find a selection of new things. We get shops like Oxfam where they actually have things that are made maybe in Africa or India, and they import them in sort of fair trade items. And then you get other shops that actually have some new items, and sometimes they'll just have, you know, a basket or a box that's got a few things in that are identical, and you can see that somebody either from a company has, you know, lobbed them out, or perhaps they've been donated. And what I found in one of the better charity shops this month, or I should say last month because it's November now, what I found was some beanie hats, fairly cheap looking beanie hats, but you know, a perfectly fine acrylic beanie hat. And there were several of these, all brand new with labels on, and they had actually put them down to half price, perhaps because people don't often look in the boxes and the baskets I usually do. And I'll put a picture in of me wearing this because I don't want to sort of mess up my hair. I go out an awful lot in the evenings. I'm out almost every evening, usually going off to some yoga or kung fu class or something. And I hate the cold and I'm always worried about my car breaking down. So another one of these is absolutely fantastic. I had to unwind the brim of it a little bit because for some reason I have a very, very large head. I've got quite small features. I'm a small person, but I've got a big head. And I actually was watching a vlog by somebody who used to be a milliner, used to make hats for a living. And apparently the size of your head is, it's not at all related to your body size. You could be quite a large person and have a small head, or you could be like me, a small person and have a big head. I'll tell myself that it's because I've got extra brains, but it could just as easily be extra sawdust. It's very annoying sometimes when you get these standard hats that just come in one size because they never fit me. I always need a bigger size. Nevertheless, this hat is still lovely and warm and it does stretch to go round my head. Now, the last item I bought this month I was very pleased with, but again, I do now have some regrets and I'll show it to you. It's a little shoulder bag, and when you open it up, so it's silver and it's got like sort of gold hardware, and when you open it up, it's almost like a wallet inside, and it seemed to be, completely unused. I have discovered since though that it really smells badly of cigarette smoke. I absolutely loathe smoking. I loathe anything that smells of cigarettes. So what I'm going to do with this is probably stick it in a bag of bicarbonate of soda with some essential oils on, which can sometimes, if you sort of put it in a plastic bag and shake it up, that can sometimes sort out the aroma. It's not as bad as if it were, a jumper or something, when I definitely wouldn't want to wear it. I always remember years ago, I bought some old curtains in a charity shop and I made them, they were check, and I made them into a beautiful tablecloth, and it just smelled of smoke. I could not get rid of it. I did my usual trick for when I get rid of, things that smell of mold. You can immerse them in a bucket of white vinegar and bicarbonate of soda, and it usually gets rid of it. Nothing got rid of that smell of smoke, and in the end I threw that tablecloth out because I just couldn't get it out. So I'm going to see what I can do with this little bag to improve the fragrance of it. I don't think I can actually immerse it in water, and I don't think it would make any difference if I did. So I'm going to try the trick of putting it in the plastic bag with some essential oils and the bicarb, and we'll see if we can improve it. It was actually £6.50, but I always think to myself, well, if I redonate to another charity shop, then that item gets sold twice and it just brings in more money for the charity. And I think sometimes, we all get a duff buy or something we just have to take a chance with. It's a really lovely little bag, and I'm always up for a shoulder strap bag. I'm very, very practical and often just like to go out with something that fits my phone and, a little bit of money. Shove a lip gloss in there and I'm good to go. So we'll see how that one pans out, but overall some really good finds during October. So let me know in the comments if you found any good bargains lately. Also let me know if you know of any other ways of removing cigarette smoke odour. Always happy to try something new. Remember to stay kind to yourself, stay kind to other people, and most of all, stay kind to animals, even if they do ask for 16 meals in one day.